and welcome to Empower Your Amazing Life Story, Embracing Our Wholeness and Expanding Our Horizons YouTube channel. And my name is Mercy Martinez. Today's podcast is going to be Time to Embrace Our Uniqueness. You know, we continue with the awareness of our goals and resolutions for 2019. And last week, I spoke about honoring our blocks and limitations. And boy, that triggered out for me some new awarenesses. Through the week, I had some events where I was driving to, and all of a sudden, some interesting insights popped up in my mind. I don't know about you, but a lot of times it is in my driving or doing something completely different that all of a sudden brings me into some new awareness about my own uniqueness and my own process of thinking. So all of a sudden I was driving, and all of a sudden, again, all of a sudden, I don't know if you have heard, but by now almost everybody has heard of Marie Kondo's process of organizing. Her book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tying Up. And now she has a Netflix series. And I assure you, I think 2 years ago, I bought her book. And I can tell you right now, as I hold it in my hands, the marker, the yellow marker, is still in exactly half of the book where I stopped. And then the next Netflix series is very popular and people have been talking about it. And I notice all of a sudden my resistance to her process. I had noticed it when I was reading the book 2 years ago. And as I was talking to a friend about the Netflix series, again, I noticed my resistance. At first, I deducted that it was my resistance to face how disorganized I'm truly are, even though I think I am organized, and how difficult it is to maintain her method when your spouse, your partner, whoever you roommate with, is not organized. It's a good excuse, right? But this time, what popped in my mind was different. I could see my resistance was coming from my awareness that we don't necessarily need to fit in someone else's space or hole or form. You know that saying, if you're a square peg, you can't fit in a round hole or space. So that triggered for me to explore more my resistance, why I was having a difficulty with her system. I was telling a friend of mine that when I read her book, and even though I went halfway through her book, one of the things that really caught my attention was a feeling of her passion and joy for organizing is so much of her beingness, let's say, of her how she is, that it felt like she was overriding everybody else in the family. In her book, she talks about how she would clean up closets and possessions of the family, and they would all get mad at her. So one of the first awareness I had with my resistance to her book was how what it felt for me was the disrespect for someone else's attachments to something, and her passion to dictate what is best for you. You see? But now it was coming back into my life and my awareness. People were talking about her process. It's in Netflix. Every time I go into Netflix, I can see her series there. And so this time, I open my awareness, my mind to exploration. And in exploring, I started to realize part of my own passion, we'll say, is since I was little, not being compared to anyone. Since I was little, the first time I remember my mom talking to me about, why are you like Eunice? She has really good grades. I only had the C's and B's, not the A's. And it was just first grade, by the way. And I remember standing up to my mom and clearly stating very solidly, my name is Mercy, not Eunice. And I remember that memory so vividly because it marked my awareness of who I am from the space of I have never liked to be compared with others. It felt that that was not respecting who I am. So, of course, when this insight came about, what there was I resisting Marie Kondo's process. I started to realize it was my own interpretation that her passion was such for organization that she was not respecting other people's way of living. And at the same time, interesting that I make this aha about her and about my resistance. I explore a little bit more, and really, I'm not respecting her either if I right away resist her and start criticizing her system, or I start criticizing how she is. So I stepped further into this exploration and I opened the horizon to say, I'm going to be open enough to see a bigger picture out of all this that has come to my awareness. And hold and behold, an Edgar Casey reading popped up in my Facebook feed. And it reads like this: let us not worry about what others are doing, apparently in opposition to our purpose. But let us look rather to what we ourselves are doing in relation to our purpose. If we fulfill our purpose to the best of our ability, then others seeing will take hope also. This is from an Eric Casey reading 254-87. And truly what it brought me to is a sense of focusing on my own uniqueness, respecting her uniqueness and respecting mine, not criticizing or batching her process and making mine more important, but seeing that her peg, her shape is as valuable as is my shape and my peg. And that from her process, what I can do is take what is something I can adapt without trying to place my square peg in a round hole. In other words, it's not about devaluing her process and valuing my uniqueness. It's about valuing us as unique as we are. And that sometimes there are system thoughts, ideas, beliefs that others are sharing that may click with us and agree within our own uniqueness. And that there are others that will share things that may not quite click with us, but if we're open enough to respect their journey, their experiencing of their amazing life story, their sharing will assist my experiencing of my amazing life story. And the reason is because now I have a new awareness of a new perspective. It may not be exactly mine. I'm truly a very creative soul and not instantly into organizing, putting everything in its own space. But I applaud, I really love all those people. There are really organizers at their soul level. I love the energy of having everything in its own place. But I also love the energy of the creative flow that doesn't have everything in its own place. It is the uniqueness of respecting each other's square, round, triangular pegs and opening our horizons, opening our mind to the exchange of ideas without judging them or putting them down. It is valuing us, each other, our uniqueness, embracing that each of us have our own unique traveling, free choices, free will, and that each of us have the opportunity to experiment, to explore, to take our own adventure. And if it meets with someone else's adventure for a time, kudos to that opportunity. But kudos too for those who, for whatever reason, the journey right now seems a lonely journey. Because each and every experience is invaluable, is a gem, is priceless opportunities for our souls to grow. So again, here we are, moving into the 2019 resolutions and goals. And I am only going to share with you that for me, and it may not be for you, but for me, the more I work with my goals of 2019, the more I'm open to the exploration, to explore things I may have not seen before, to open my horizons and allow the universe to show me. And at the end, it's my own choice which way I will travel. Well, I hope this has been a helpful day, insight. You know, when I start talking, my my mind goes into different directions. I really want to thank you for listening and giving me this opportunity to share with all of you for this week. I hope this insight helps you. Open yourself to valuing, embracing your uniqueness, the shape, whatever shape you are, and allowing yourself to open to the other shapes and see how others affect you and how you affect them without what I call forcing ourselves and our opinions on others. Again, I invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can receive notification of all the new shows as they are published. My channel, Empower Your Amazing Life Story, will be publishing weekly these type of shows, podcast. I'm trying to make them smaller as possible because let me tell you, I am a busy person like everybody else, and sometimes we don't have time to really listen to a long podcast. I invite you to tune in every Tuesday unless there's some technical difficulties that I may not publish on that day, but that is my objective. Every Tuesday, I publish a little bit of an insight. I also will let you know that there is an opportunity for you to comment in the section down below. If you have any topic or questions you may have, then I will address it as soon as I can. You can also write me at mercymartinez.com. Check out my website, www.empoweryouramazing.lifestory.com, or very easily, www.mercymartinez.com. And also, we have a Facebook page. It's a public, open page, Empower Your Amazing Life Story. And wishing you a spectacular week. May your week be full of adventures that expands your horizon.